Hi everyone, it's Jules and welcome to Jules Reads. This is my weekly reading update and this is February 18th of 2024. So let's get into it. What I like to talk about in these videos is what I finished reading this week, what I'm currently reading, what I want to read, books I may have hauled, which I have 2 to show you for this week, and then anything I might have watched on TV or movies, and then just personal plans and what we have coming up this week. So let's get into it. So the biggest thing, actually, I'm just going to talk about something personal real quick, is my book nook. My husband made these shelves, and I'll insert some better footage here, but he made these shelves, hung them for me. There's a total of 8 shelves, even in the corner. So this is just a simple standard closet that we weren't using, so I turned it into bookshelves, and in the corners here he put bookshelves as well, so it's going to hold a lot of books. I even moved some of my Stephen King ones into this room, which those were in his library, so those aren't even his books, they're my books. But I'm really loving it. I'm trying to figure out how to decorate it. I started stacking my books that I've read so far in 2024 right here so that I can kind of keep track of them. Yeah, so I am playing with decorating, figuring out how I want to do it all, but I love it and really appreciate my husband for doing this for me. So the only book that I finished this week is a book called All Systems Red by Martha Wells. I'm sure you've heard of it. And I did this on audio. I really did like the audio. It reminded me of I did this last week when I was trying to think of it too. Ready Player One and Project Hail Mary. So it kind of reminded me of a combination of those two, and I can't tell you too much about it because it is very short. I think the audio is only 3 hours. I would like to get the actual physical book, and I want to definitely continue in the series. I'm not a big series person, but this book was published back in 2017. It is part of a series, like I said. It's sci-fi, and I think there's 7 books so far with 2, I'm not sure what you call them when they're a half. Like there's one that's a prequel, it looks like. I was looking it up this morning, and one that's a half book, like 4.5. So I do want to continue in this series. I got a few of them off of Audible for free, so I'm not sure if there are other places like Audible for free. Obviously you have your library apps that a lot of people love to use as well. But I really enjoyed it. I found it more humorous than I was expecting. So it is about kind of an android. I believe he's half human, if I'm understanding correctly, or somewhat human. And he's supposed to be like security and protecting the humans. But he's more fascinated with watching movies and TVs, and he loves to binge watch movies and TVs, which I found that really relatable. He seems very charming. I just really liked his character, and he calls himself Murderbot. No one else really knows this, but he calls himself Murderbot, even though he doesn't murder anybody. So I really enjoyed that, and I think I gave it 4 stars, and I will definitely continue on in the series. For what I'm currently reading, I am reading Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None. And this is for my in real life book club. We call ourselves Fight Club, even though I'm not sure any of us have ever read the book. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm probably about halfway through, and I do plan to watch I think there's a mini series. I think it's 3 episodes somewhere on the streaming services out there. And I really like it. It's new to me style of writing. I'm not really used to that, but I'm liking it. It's fast-paced. It's a page turner. And if you don't know anything about this is about, is there 10 or 9? I think there's 10 people that are called. None of them know each other, and they're called to an island randomly. They're not sure who invited them to this island, and then they start getting murdered one by one. So I really like the style. It seems like each chapter they go through there's Roman numerals 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So I haven't quite figured out if that is each person, each character. I'm not quite sure yet, but I am really enjoying this. And then the other book I am reading is Wool by Hugh Howey. And this one I'm about a quarter of a way through. I'm doing this one on audio as well while I'm reading it. And I have watched the TV show. I really like the TV show, which has brought me to the book. I had no idea about this book until this TV show came out. I'm really liking it. It's extremely similar to the TV show, or the TV show is very similar to this. And this is dystopian people, thousands of people live in these huge silos underneath the ground, and the outside world is hazardous to them, so they can't go outside. And the main character, her name is actually Jules. Well, it's Juliet, and they call her Jules, so I thought that was fun. But she becomes sheriff in this silo, so it's about her journey becoming sheriff and the things that happen. I really like the TV show. I'm really enjoying this. Their narration is good. I really like it. The other book that I'm currently reading, I'm doing on audio as well, and that is The Fireman by Joe Hill. And I'm a huge Stephen King fan. I don't know if you saw on my books above. I have actually another double that downstairs, but they're all hardcover books. And at one point my husband talked me in, he didn't talk me into it, I just did it because he was doing it. He doesn't like dust covers, and I took the dust covers off, and I super regret it. So I want to replace those books with ones with dust covers or paperbacks. I prefer paperbacks. But I'm a huge Stephen King fan. Joe Hill is Stephen King's son, and I read Nosferatu, and I really liked that. And then this one, it kind of reminds me of The Stand, and his writing style reminds me of Stephen King. I'm sure he learned a lot from his father, but it is like an epidemic or a pandemic, and people get a virus that causes them to catch on fire. So it's about the whole journey. It's a pretty large book. I'm not sure how many pages. I wanted to say it was like 20-hour book. I really enjoy the narration. It is narrated by Kate Mulgrew, who is in Orange is the New Black. That's what I most associate her with. She does an excellent job. And I'm pretty sure she narrated another book, either a Stephen King book or a Joe Hill book that I also listened to that I loved. So she's doing a great job. I'm loving the book, and I'm having a good time with that one. I'm maybe a quarter of the way through that one as well. What I want to read, I don't have anything besides those. I just want to get those all wrapped up this week. So I don't have anything I want to add to that. There was one from last week that I probably won't get to this week yet. It'll probably be next week that I get to it. Then for books that I hauled this week, I took a bunch of books to Half Price Books, and I got some dollars. So I got myself a couple books that I've been wanting. One is Wicked by Gregory Maguire, and it's in pretty good condition. And I read this book many, many years ago, maybe when it came out. I'm not really sure. And then my husband read it as well, and we loved it. We went to the show when it came to Minneapolis. We loved the show. I didn't think at that time that the show was really similar to the book at all. And now I don't remember anything about it. And with the new movie coming out later this year, I want to reread this before the movie comes out and know more about it. I remember liking it. I don't remember really loving it. And I know my husband liked it more than I did at the time. But I want to read this. I'm a huge Wizard of Oz fan. As you can see, I have my Wizard of Oz books and my Don't Make Me Get the Flying Monkeys. So I look forward to reading that soon. The other book that I got is Outlander by Diana Cobaldon. And this one's in pretty good condition too. It does have, it looks like some water spots or something on the bottom, and this is another chunker, but look how floppy that is. And I do like the show Outlander, not love, but I've heard the books are amazing, so I'm curious to read the book. I do love Scotland. We went there, visited there last year, and I love Scotland, so I would love to read more books that take place in Scotland, so I look forward to reading that someday. So those are the two books that I picked up this week. Now for movies and TV that I enjoyed this week, we watched Maestro, that is starring Bradley Cooper and Carey Mulligan, and it is about the real life Leonard Bernstein. He's a composer, and we liked it more than I thought. I really didn't have high expectations for it, but we really liked it. And it is nominated for an Oscar. I believe Bradley Cooper is nominated for an Oscar, and I think Carey Mulligan as well. It's on Netflix right now. It came out in theaters last year, and it's on Netflix. I highly recommend it, and I would check it out. One of the other movies that I watched was Like Water for Chocolate, and I'm not sure if you saw my last video, but I did read the book recently, last week or the week before, so I thought I would check out the movie. It is very similar to this, and it actually made me grow fonder of the book. I really enjoyed the movie. It is in Spanish, and it just warmed my heart and made me like the book even more. So it's great when a movie can do that. And it was from 1993, and I can't remember if it was either on Peacock or it might have been Paramount that I found it on. And I really enjoyed it. I would watch it again, and it might make me read this book again. Another movie that we watched is a documentary called Greatest Night in Pop, and this is about the making of the song We Are the World back in 1985. I really enjoyed it. I remember when that song came out. I remember singing it on the school bus with my classmates in 5th grade, and I just loved that song at that time. So it was fun to see behind the scenes how it was made. I had no idea of some of the things that went on behind the scenes. So that was really fun. It's on Netflix as well. Highly recommend that one. And then just some TV shows that I'm still currently watching. True Detective. I think it was episode 5 that I watched this week, and episode 6 might be out today. That might be what I'm doing after I film this. I think it came out last night, or maybe it comes out today. True Detective. Love it. Reminds me of season 1. It is fantastic. Very, very dark. If you're not into that, do not watch it. And then also Criminal Record. This is on Apple Plus TV, and I watched the 7th episode, and the 8th episode comes out, I think, next week. And I really like it. It's a good mystery. It's a detective show, kind of, and it is pretty dark as well. But it takes place in the UK, in London, and I'm really enjoying that and look forward to the season finale. I'm not sure if it'll continue on or if this is just a limited series. I'm not sure, but I am liking that one as well. And then just some personal things that we did this week. Not much, but we did play trivia and we won. There's only 4 teams, but we came in first, but it was our highest score we've ever had, so we were very proud of ourselves. We had a lot of fun, and we are hoping to play again tomorrow night. And then I just met with my friend and did some planning for a trip to Michigan that we're going to take this summer, and so we booked our 2 hotels. We're going to do a 5 nights and do mostly the upper peninsula, so we're looking forward to that as well. But that's really all we did last week, and trivia tomorrow night. But other than that, we don't have a lot of plans, which I like. So I hope you guys had a good reading week. Let me know what you finished, what you're currently reading, and what you're enjoying on TV as well. That would be fantastic. All right, thanks for watching.